Collaborative leadership means that we're co-teaching information literacy skills using research standards embedded in the content areas. It's not just pull out information literacy skills, but it's actually teaching information literacy skills at a student's point of need. So when they need it, not in case they need it. We're not teaching them to cite their sources in September because they're going to have to cite their sources in November. That doesn't stick with kids. One thing we can do is to embed ourselves onto teams, onto real active teams of teachers at your school. And we work collaboratively with those teams by providing curated resources to teachers at their point of need. This is an example of a tool called Symboloo that is a free curation tool that you can use. I like this quote I heard at a conference: collaborative leaders make the virtual visible for their teachers. So all of these things, we know we have access to all these great databases, but our teachers and our students don't necessarily know it. So we make the virtual visible for our people. Collaborative leaders work with our faculty on creating things like a school-wide research rubric. This feels very important. So all grade levels, all content areas are using similar language when they talk about asking questions about a topic, gathering information on a topic, or developing a thesis for a project. It's not a research paper writing rubric. It's just an information gathering rubric. I like to have a basic content area research rubric for all classes to use to meet the needs of any information-seeking project. We also demonstrate collaborative leadership by working with our administrators. We make their priorities our priorities. Think about who's in charge of gathering data on different initiatives. Maybe you're trying to close the achievement gap. Maybe you're looking at evidence to see if your one-to-one initiative is working or not. Could you take the lead on one of those initiatives? Could you volunteer to analyze some research on one of those initiatives? While we're talking about administrators and achievement gaps, this is a reminder to know the language of education today. It's okay to say, I don't know what that means. That seems like a lot of big words to me right now, but we have an obligation to look it up and find out and learn that. And the focus of all these activities needs to be on our student learning outcomes. That's the reason that we collaborate. That's the reason that we're working with these teachers and administrators. Ask yourself this question: is what I'm doing right now directly contributing to student learning outcomes? And if not, why am I doing it? This question, how may I help you, is coming from the right place. Like you're asking the right question, but it's just asking the wrong person. It's hard when we ask a teacher, how can I help you? But if we ask ourselves, how can I help that teacher? Then we can make a difference. I went to the principal and I asked him if I could have 20 minutes at a staff meeting, and if I could just show them simply how to teach an easy method of citing their sources. So I gave them this simple lesson. It probably really took 15 minutes. And then I sent emails out. I sent them posters like this to hang in their classrooms. I sent them the tools that they needed, any passwords that they needed. And I slowly changed the culture of citing sources at the school. I also think it's important that we take the time to reflect on what we just did when we collaborate with our teachers. And we ask them, how do you think it went? If you turn around and nobody's following you, you're not leading, you're simply taking a walk. And as I reflected on that, I realized I don't want my teachers to be behind me. I want them beside me.